In the El Chapo trial, an FBI agent in Mexico took the stand yesterday to share what agents discovered when they raided Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's Cabo San Lucas home. The jury saw this video taken by agents inside the home. Agent Jose Moreno said the drug king had just escaped but left a ton of evidence, including a stockpile of weapons and a to-do list of payments to be made for weed and weapons.
But during the cross-examination, the defense pointed out no physical evidence was actually found. Moreno alleged that's because Mexican police showed up 2 hours late.
So joining us now is attorney Paul Batista. Good to see you.
Good to see you as always.
So the testimony from the FBI agents seemed to be implying the Mexican police are involved in El Chapo's success as a drug lord, but this isn't the first time we've heard that accusation. Will the repetitive nature of these accusations influence the jury?
Well, I think it may ultimately influence the jury in the sense that El Chapo has been alleged for years, as have many, many other drug lords, of paying off Mexican officials. The fascinating thing I find about the FBI raid of El Chapo's home is not so much the material that was found there, none of which had El Chapo's signature on it, but they found 30 pair of his underwear and took his underwear
30
away.
You might leave one pair of underwear here and there.
Leave that out.
Some people might leave underwear here.
I guess it depends on whether they have a washing machine.
Yeah, really. So, meantime, Vicente Zambada wrapped up his testimony. He's the son of the individual that the defense is essentially arguing is really the one running the Sinaloa cartel, right? I believe, right? Or maybe
that's absolutely
correct.
Right?
Okay, so he talked a lot about the DEA, speaking of corruption. Not saying that he's right, I'm just saying that that was the allegation is that the DEA is involved in this whole thing. Did that hurt the prosecution?
Well, I think a lot of things hurt the prosecution. After a 2-week break, let's not forget that the first thing the prosecution did last week was to bring in supermarket carts filled with AK-47s, none of which had El Chapo's fingerprints on them. It was a theatrical display, and I think that hurt the prosecution. But as far as the younger Zambada's testimony was concerned, his father, of course, is still on the loose. And when, on cross-examination, the younger Zambada, who's been in jail for 10 years, under the supervision of the Drug Enforcement Administration, was asked the blunt question, who is the head of the Sinaloa cartel? The son answered, my father.
Okay.
That's damn it. That is quite. Does that help the prosecution? I don't think so.
No. Yeah. So the defense ultimately went also after Vicente's motivation for taking the stand. What's your take on that?
Well, my take on that is, let's not forget that this fairly young man has been in prison for 10 years in the United States. And I can tell you that being in essentially solitary confinement, surrounded every day by federal agents, you begin to hear not necessarily what happened, but you begin to hear what the agents tell you happened. Did that happen in this case? I'm not accusing anyone. But the total immersion in U.S. custody, as well as the realization that you might be able to get out while you're still in the 40s, in your 40s, can be a very powerful mechanism for repeating what you've heard other people tell you for 10 years.
Interesting. Meantime, we have a new character introduced, Jaguar. One of the killers for the cartel. Look, I wouldn't want to mess with a guy named Jaguar. What do we learn from him?
And I wouldn't want to know why he got that name.
We learned nothing from him. What we learned, he wasn't even there.
What?
What we learned was that a very young, recently divorced man met the Jaguar at a discotheque. They became friends. Jaguar ultimately allegedly informed this young man who was testifying, my name is not only Jaguar, but my assignment is to kill as many people as possible. And Jaguar allegedly had a killing room where, in a cement floor, he would kill people and the blood would drain into the drain.
Ew.
So we know nothing about Jaguar.
Oh dear.
Other than Jaguar's name.
Well, it is a reminder that as we sort of chit-chat about this, and I know, people find this sort of stuff really interesting, obviously that's why we're talking about it, it's a bloodthirsty business that leaves a lot of pain in its wake, right?
There are bloodthirsty businesses all around the world. And we've now concentrated for many years on the bloodthirsty business that happens in Mexico. I'm not here to defend El Chapo. He's obviously not a friend of mine and never would be. But thus far, 6 weeks of prosecution, it seems to me, thus far, just as an observer, we're not getting very far. When your key evidence yesterday is 30 pair of underwear that you can't really attribute to El Chapo, you are in trouble. And one of the jurors says, if the underwear don't fit, the old Johnny Corcoran,
Really?
she said it out loud.
Really? She said that out loud?
You must acquit.
Really?
Is she allowed to even say that?
They can say what they want.
Man. All right. Paul Batista, always good to have you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Always good to see both of you.